everybody. Welcome. My name is Matt. I am from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube, hanging out with me, talking some Royal Caribbean cruises together. Every Monday, we are live here on YouTube, so thank you for joining me here. When we're not live, we're over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for plenty more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun advice. It is all waiting for you over there. Happy Monday, everybody. Thank you for joining us here. We got a lot of people in chat already hanging out with us. And we got Kim, we got Jamie, we got John. Kelly Hardy from MEI Travel is here. Not a real person. Hello, Rory Alinsky. Hello, Adriana. Welcome. Brian Myers. Let's get this party started, right? Hey, we're here to talk Royal Caribbean cruises with all of you. So I hope you guys are ready to talk some cruises. If you have cruise questions, this is your opportunity to ask them. A lot happening, and then again, a lot not happening in the cruise industry. But every week, it changes. So you never know what to expect, but I'm glad you're here with us for the ride. Hello, Grace. Welcome. Hello, Jimmy Epstein. Hello, Nasia. Five Trit is here. Brian Oliver, what's going on? Becky Menken from MEI Travel, what's going on? Welcome. Sophie Burns is here. Hello, Sophie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Powerful Female. What's going on? Welcome, guys. Shayna is here. Ron Ladowski. Hello. Bob Wise checking in. Hello, Jared. Paula. Welcome, one and all. Glad to have you guys here. Danny DiMatteo. What is happening? Welcome, guys. Of course, we're here to talk Royal Caribbean. Brian, Allure of the Seas back in the port of Miami. I mean, they're just repositioning. They're moving ships around. You know, from time to time, there's cruise ships that move around. Depending on a variety of factors, quite frankly. I wouldn't read too much into the movement of cruise ships, more than just a lot of logistical things that have to go back and forth. But, yeah, Brian McNichols, it has been too long. Yes, too long indeed, my friend. Welcome, good to see you. Matt Banville, hello and welcome. I'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. My kids need to be dealt with. All right, we should be back now. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, there's casual stuff happening, and then there's parent intervention, and parent intervention had to happen. So we got bots in the chat. Really? Am I that big that we made it there? I see Brian McNichols. He's not a bot though. He's a real person. So, Chat with Chaps wants to know: is it true that all 2021 sailings get double points, Crown Anchor points? Yes, if they're booked before the end of January 2021 and your Crown Anchor Society number is in the reservation, yes, absolutely. Terry Gallant, what's up, Terry? I contacted Royal Caribbean and it seems that my next cruise certificate is not eligible for extension, so I need to book something before March 7th, 2021 or I lose my deposit. I can tell you that's not true. Unfortunately, I got some bad information because Royal Caribbean extended all the future cruise credits to be able to be used at least through the end of 2021. That happened November, December of last year, 2020, that is. So, yeah, it's just, yeah. There shouldn't be any, I think you should be good. I would double check on that because the original date you may have gotten is one thing, but Royal Caribbean extended a bunch of those future cruise credits not too long ago. Jimmy Epstein, what's up, dude? I just booked the transatlantic cruise that you guys were talking about a couple weeks ago, and do you have any tips, and you think they're still going to be doing it? In terms of any cruise, no matter what cruise it is, Jimmy, I have no idea what to expect, quite frankly. It remains to be seen what will happen. That's a whole different... No one knows the answer to that question. In terms of tips for a transatlantic, I mean, take it easy and take advantage of the time you have on board the ship and really explore. I mean, try to do everything. I think that's a really important thing to do. Just turning the fan on here. Getting a little warm with the computer going and the door closed, so Hey, Ronan from Denver, what's going on? Welcome. Claude, sent you an email about Liberty sailing on Easter? I don't think so, dude. You sent it to me? My email is matt@royalcaribbeanblog.com. I usually respond to my emails pretty quickly, especially stuff like that, unless it's for the podcast. Then I throw it in the podcast queue, which may have been in there. So, Brenda, double points, even if it's a chartered cruise. I don't know about charter cruises. That's a good question. I'm not sure. If it's a full ship charter, I am not sure on that. My guess is no, because I know that, charters are always kind of a weird animal. There's different, depending on the charter and the arrangement Royal Caribbean has with the cruise line, it's all over the place. You never know. Ronan, what's the difference between Voyager Class ships versus Quantum? A lot. Size of the ship, the offerings on board, so the activities you can do on board the ship. Quantum Class ships are larger. Voyager Class ships have a Royal Promenade, whereas Quantum Class ships have a Royal Esplanade. They're very different in that. There's some similarities, obviously, but there's some significant differences. I don't know that I have enough time to really go through them all here in this one live broadcast, but suffice to say, there's quite a bit. So, hey, Cheryl Mantle is here. Welcome, Cheryl. Good to see you. John wants to know, are cruises out of the U.S. over 7 days still happening, or are they still on hold till November 21? Not the rule that you're referring to, John, is only refers to cruises in the U.S. A cruise out of Europe, Australia, anywhere else, Singapore, are not affected by that policy. The CDC has said between now and November, at the very least, cruises may not exceed 7 nights. That rule only applies to the U.S., but cruises in Europe, as an example, unaffected by that. So that's a good question. Hey, Teresa McChain with our first super chat of the evening. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you very much. Very, very kind of you. And a thumbs up back to you. Appreciate that. Jared, start the petition to get rid of the 70s show for Royal Caribbean. I'm not sure I'll win that battle. I'm not sure that's going to be a popular thing. Jared talking about some of the unpopular opinions that I shared in our YouTube video last week, if you guys saw that. Michael, have you heard what is being done with 8-night cruises? Cruises over 7 nights are on hold right now. They're not being sold. They haven't been canceled. Nothing's been changed yet. They're just on hold, Michael. I think really, in my opinion, I think Royal Caribbean is waiting to see when cruises do resume, and if they do, will they just simply shorten them, cancel them? We're not sure, but nothing has changed yet. Rory, do you think Royal Caribbean will ever try to top the Oasis Classic or even a larger ship? Oh, I absolutely believe that, because it seems crazy to think about that, but there was a time, Rory, in which people thought the same thing about the Sovereign class, that they were too big and they would never make ships bigger than that. No way. Lo and behold, obviously that's come and gone. So I think eventually the answer is yes. Will it be as soon as maybe we've seen the evolution of cruises? Maybe not. But I do believe eventually that will be the case. Randy Patrick with a super chat. Thank you, Randy. Randy, final payment made for Mariner of the Seas in March. 312 days till Harmony Group Cruise, baby. Cruises have got to come back eventually, right? Absolutely. Listen, the best analogy I've got is it's like playing roulette. And you sit there at the roulette table, and there are some people who play the same numbers every time, and they'll lose every time, unfortunately. We're that guy right now. But eventually, statistically speaking, that number will come up. So, Becky Megan says, I love that video, but I'm still not convinced to dress up. It's, like I said, it's not, I enjoy it, but I'm not sure I'm going to, like I said, I didn't think I was going to convince anyone with my opinions, but I like dressing up for formal nights, and I think it's fun. It's just nice, something different from the usual. And that's something that you really only find on cruise ships, because, you go to an all-inclusive resort somewhere, you go to a city, you're not really you don't have to get dressed up like that. It's not really part of the culture of where, unless of course you go to, like, I don't know, New York, you can go to, to the opera. Okay, maybe then, but still, it's not quite the same thing. Paul Somerville, as I get older, what cruising perks do seniors get? Age budgets, I like to plan for cruising as I age. The most noticeable difference once you get to 55 is you can qualify for a senior citizen discount. Beyond that, that's it, my friend. So, let's see. Susan wants to know, any idea when Royal Caribbean will announce their return to cruising plans? It's so frustrating waiting for a glimmer of hope. All I'm getting is emails wanting me to book another cruise. Yeah, listen, Susan, there's 250 people in this live video right now who are thinking the exact same thing. Unfortunately, we just simply don't know. That's the answer. Beyond that, it's just speculation, guessing, but we simply don't know. All the cruise lines are really playing it close to the vest right now. I think their approach has been, let's try to make, like, I think what they're trying to do is just limit the disappointment, and making plans to restart and publicizing all of them and then having to cancel that is not a good thing. So they want to make sure that when they do announce the restart plans, I believe they want to have it about as firm as concrete. So that's why we're not seeing much information on top of that. MJ with the super chat. Thank you, MJ. Hope you enjoyed the 75 degrees today. Gross, it's too hot for my liking. Do you think Royal Caribbean will keep a ship year-round in Tampa since the Brilliance of the Seas is staying this year, or do you think it's a trial? I think a cruise ship year-round in Tampa is a product of convenience, not an overall strategy. What do I mean by that? I mean, if things work out and they got nowhere else for the ships to go, they'll stick them in Tampa because it's better than other places. They'll make more money over there. But on top of that, they're not going to say, you know what's going to make the most money? A ship year-round in Tampa. So, like I said, it's kind of like the backup plan. And sometimes there's a ship year-round in Tampa, and sometimes there isn't. That's my opinion based on what I've seen. Tampa is not a premier cruise market. It's probably a Category 2. Category 1, premier cruise markets in Florida. You've got Port Canaveral. You've got Port Miami. You've got Port Everglades. Tampa, Jacksonville, those are like Tier 2. They're a step down. Now, listen. Port Canaveral was a Tier 2 for a while, in my opinion. They've moved up, so you never know. Hey, Mrs. Thomas, with another super chat. Thank you guys for your generosity today. Mrs. Thomas is getting ready to pay off my Symphony of the Seas cruise, Symphony, for the first week of June. How do the ports look for being open? I think the ports are the least of the cruise line's problems, Mrs. Thomas. I think your cruise will go somewhere if it is able to sail, but I just don't know that you'll be able to sail. But when the ships are ready to go, they'll go somewhere. Even if it's the Bahamas, I have no doubt in my mind that the ships will be able to go somewhere. That's not the issue. I think the bigger issue is, getting government approval for that to occur. Michelle Pros, hello and welcome. Good to see you. Danny, seems to be hard to find a cabin for a single cruiser. It is. My advice is don't look for single cabins. I mean, you can look. Don't look. But they're very few and far between. My advice to you is just book... when I look for a solo cruise, I never look at solo cabins. It seems like a waste of time, quite frankly. No offense. I just look for double occupancy, find the best possible price I can for that. So, John Smith, what's going on, dude? Thank you for the super chat. Any idea when Silver Sea cruises might start up in the U.S. or Europe? It's a good question, John. I don't know. I think the answer to any Royal Caribbean group restart is probably the same, whether it is Royal Caribbean International, Silver Sea, Celebrity Cruises, Azamara. Almost certainly their fates are all tied. I just can't imagine they're not. So when we know what answer to one, John, we'll probably know the answer to the other. And in the meantime, we don't have an answer. We don't have an answer for any of those. So I saw a question I wanted to answer from Amanda Sinclair. Says, I'm supposed to cruise in March. Representative on the phone yesterday told me I should know first week of February. I think they're just trying to give you a vague answer, Amanda. I wouldn't read too much. Number one, and we love the people who work for Royal Caribbean, but they don't have any more, sometimes, and a lot of times, they don't have any more inside information on this. I don't believe I would read much into that, Amanda. I think that's just their guess. Because they work for Royal Caribbean, you might put more stock in their guess, but I've heard plenty of incorrect information coming from people who work for the cruise line. So I don't know about that. I can tell you that, obviously, we've seen Norwegian cancel March cruises. We've seen Carnival do so. MSC cruises as well. MSC canceled theirs today. I think the writing's on the wall. I think it's a matter of time. Whether it'll happen this week, whether it'll happen February, I don't know. But I appreciate you sharing that. I'm not shooting the messenger by any means. But I really don't put much stock in what the phone operators their predictions on what the future may bring. So no offense, but that's just my opinion on that. So. Stacy Lamp, can you lift and shift a May cruise before final payment? Yes, of course. Absolutely. You can lift and shift anytime you want, really, at this point. Coleslaw, great name. How do you think Royal Caribbean is handling the capacity rules? Will they take cruises that have hit 50% capacity off their site? I don't know. I don't think they've crossed that bridge yet. We don't officially know how limiting the capacity will be. We do know that there will be limited capacity in the ships, and we do know that it'll be on a per-ship basis. So it will not be 50% across the board or 60. It won't be a fixed percentage across the board. It will vary from ship to ship because some ships are obviously bigger or larger than other ones or smaller than other ones. So, it makes more sense to go about it that way. So, hey, Tim M., thank you for the epic super chat. Woo! Thank you. Oh, I'm at Brisbane, Australia. Finally watching live. Love your positive attitude and enthusiasm for cruising. Can't wait to cruise again. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. Thank you. Very kind of you, and I appreciate your super chat. Thank you, my friend. Russell, there's a rumor that Allura set out on its second test cruise, supposedly by people on the ship. Any truth in that? Russell, it's just that. The key word right there was rumor. People don't know. People guess. People think they know. I mean, there were people that were guessing for months that Empress or Majesty were going to be sold. And for months, they were wrong. Doesn't mean they were right because they've been calling it for, 6 months. I don't know. I do know one thing. Since cruises have shut down, predictions or anybody who thinks they know what's happening is just guessing. And it's unfortunate. But look, I love a juicy rumor, but I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know anything more than what you guys are hearing and seeing. It looked like for a while back in October, November timeframe that test cruises might restart soon. We saw a lot of crew members coming back into Miami to go back on a cruise ship. There was somebody on the Royal Caribbean blog message boards, a good friend of mine, Ray, who was in Miami on an unrelated trip at a Marriott, and lo and behold, there were a bunch of Royal Caribbean crew members. They were wearing their Royal Caribbean uniforms, their jackets. They had like jumpsuits, and they were quarantining over there. So it kind of looked like maybe that was going to happen. So things change. I certainly hope that test cruises are able to restart soon. It'll be restart soon, because that obviously is the linchpin in a lot of other things happening. Eddie Hill, what's up, dude? Any idea when November 2022 and later will be released? The spring, Eddie. Traditionally, we see the next set of cruise itineraries being released around March or April timeframe. So maybe late February. Obviously, Eddie, as you know, I'll post about that at royalcaribbeanblog.com. Crystal Frank, have you been invited to go on a test cruise? I have not. By the way, Eddie, thank you for the super chat, my friend. More importantly, thank you. Crystal, I've not been invited to go on any test cruises. No, I've asked a couple times, and yeah, no, there's no answer there. Sharon Stockman is here. What's up, Sharon? Good to see you. We had a question from PSC Gaming. What do you think of Royal Caribbean's Babies and Tots daycare service on the Oasis? Fantastic. My kids both have been through the nursery on many ships. I love it. It's the best money you ever spend as a parent. I'm telling you that right now. Absolutely. Let's see. Zach, how do you see the Windjammer dining experience will change as a result of COVID? I think, Zach, it'll be just like we saw on Quantum of the Seas in Singapore. It'll be full service. So you will not grab your own food. They will serve it to you. So when you go through the Windjammer, you will let the crew member know, I'd like to have a burger, and they'll take it, they'll serve it to your plate, and you're good to go there. So, holy moly, Vicky Belva with an epic super chat. Woo! Thank you, Vicky. Thank you for being here every Monday, providing us all this information. You rock. Wow. Thank you so much for your generosity, Vicky. Really appreciate that. Really glad that you're enjoying this. Thank you. Wow. That was epic. Nice. Thank you. Richard M83, hello from North Dakota. Do you know if the Fort San Juan were still open before COVID? Heard they were closed due to deterioration. No, they were still open. They're state parks. So no, I'm not. I think whatever you heard. I've not heard the same thing at all. So, Bob, Scott, you booked on any cruise in the future? Yeah, I've got a cruise still theoretically for spring break in March. I've got a cruise in June. Got a cruise in July. Cruise in November. Whether the July and November cruises, Royal Caribbean Blog group cruises. Can't wait for those. See, John Eds, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Very kind of you, sir. Thank you. What is the best restaurant on Jewel of the Seas? Jimmy Boy, it's been a while. Can't go wrong with Chops Grill. NSWDC. Please explain lift and shift a little more detail. If I have a sailing for December 21, can I lift and shift to April 2022, or do I have to look for a December sailing 20? So for that's a problem, because you can only lift and shift a year in advance, plus or minus 4 weeks. The problem is your cruise is in December 21, and there is no December 2022 cruise to book. So right now you cannot lift and shift. So in your situation, you would not be able to do so. I believe your only options are under the Cruise with Confidence program. Well, number one, your final payment date is not until, if your cruise is in December, your final payment is probably not until August or September. So you can cancel under the traditional rules right now, depending if you booked refundable or not refundable, of course. But you could always do the 125% future cruise credit. That is still available to you to book. So always keep that in mind as an option as well. Beachy Mama, if they end up requiring the vaccine to cruise, do you think we will be able to get a refund, or will we only have the option to push our cruise out? It's a good question. I don't know, Beachy Mama. I think it would be inappropriate for me to even speculate what could or could not happen based on another speculation. I think if we've learned anything, let's put it this way. The way things are going right now, I have no doubt in my mind you will have plenty of time to decide, because it's not like, cruises theoretically might restart next week. I mean, we're already at plus 2 months, right? We're in January right now. And if cruises are canceled again in March, I mean, we're gonna have another month to go on top of that. So you've got a lot of runway to decide. And I think you're gonna have plenty of opportunity. On top of that, the Cruise with Confidence program, even if you get beyond final payment date, you have the future cruise credit always available to you. Mrs. Thomas, if we have a rebooking that is part cruise credit, part cash, what would the choices for refunds be if the cruise is canceled again? The part cash would be an option for the refund, and the FCC would be reissued to you. So I know what you're asking. Can I get like my full money back from the original booking? Like credits and cash? No. If a cruise is canceled, or if a cruise is canceled, you will have the option of taking the cash you paid for that reservation back as a refund, but the future cruise credits you applied will be reissued back to you. So, where can you get the poster in the background? eBay is where I got mine. So sooner or later they show up there. Beachy Mom, what's the date and itinerary for the Royal Caribbean Blog group cruise, and what ship? Yeah, so we got 2 group cruises coming up. We've got one on Anthem of the Seas, Norway, July 2021, I hope. July 16th, Anthem of the Seas, 8-night Norwegian Fjords cruise, July 16th, 2021. And the other is Harmony of the Seas, November 21st, 2021, out of Port Canaveral, Florida. The Anthem is an 8-nighter, Harmony is a 7-nighter. More information about both at royalcaribbeanblog.com/events. Check it out. Susie Kid, you're the best, really. Aw, shucks. You tell that to all the YouTubers. Thank you very much. Tomas wants to know, what was my Crown Anchor category? I am Diamond Plus. Not that that matters, but I'm Diamond Plus. Hello, Adam O'Brien from Ireland. Welcome. Mark the Shark. Hello, Mark. Jared, anywhere on the ship other than the pool to get blended drinks? Oh, of course, yes. Most bars have blenders. The Schooner Bar, Cafe Promenade. The only place I know that doesn't, usually the pub does not have a blender. It's like one of the few places that doesn't, but Boleros, they've got a blender. Most bars have blenders. There's very few that do not have a blender. So, Adam, when do you think is safe to book a cruise for? It's a good question, Adam. I don't know, because you're asking me, in my opinion, and please correct me if I'm wrong. You're asking me, Matt, when can I book a cruise in which I have 100% certainty it will go? Such a date does not exist right now. We just simply don't know. You can make guesses, and certainly the further out you make your reservation, the higher the likelihood, because the longer you go, the more likely things will change, right? For the better. I mean, a lot of things can change. So, but making predictions and that, it's impossible. It's impossible to know. So I hate to sidestep your question, Adam, but no one knows the answer to your question. There is no guarantee right now. My approach has been, and I talked about this on the YouTube video I posted last week about should you make final payment date, and my thought is simply this. You've got to live your lives, and we got to still plan our lives, right? Obviously we're taking things seriously. Obviously we're taking certain precautions, and we're not acting the same way we were, in 2019. But at the same time, you've got to make plans for yourself. You can't hibernate for the next 3, 6, 9, 12, 18, 24 months. I mean, you could, but I think you'll drive yourself crazy. Like, my advice is plan your life, make cruise reservations, call your travel agent, have them hook you up. And if things change, if they get canceled, we've clearly seen there's ample opportunity to change those plans. So to me, I'm making my plans, and until somebody tells me, Matt, it's not an option anymore, and then I'll roll with the punches, so to speak. So Billy Watson, I'll be on the last Harmony European sailing at the end of October. Before she repositions at Port Canaveral. Beautiful ship. Love Harmony of the Seas. Yes. Favorite ship, port of call, and favorite stateroom. Ship is Harmony of the Seas for port of call. Cozumel, maybe? I mean, Perfect Day, Coco Key. Those are both right up there. And favorite stateroom that I've stayed in? I mean, the loft suite I stayed on Harmony was really nice. That was an excellent room. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with suites, but I mean, if I'm paying for it, a balcony room always does the trick. Junior suite's nice. For the right price, I like the junior suite because it's a really big balcony room. And grand suite, it's good. Let me say something. Being in a suite ain't a bad way to travel. I'll just say that, right? Becky knows exactly what I'm talking about. Is that a speak and spell on the shelf behind me? It is, yes. Peter, should we rebook our Alaska May 21? As in, you're thinking, let's punt for 22? This, again, kind of comes down to that video again. You should watch the video I did on last week about should you make final payment. That's really the question you're asking. And again, I stand by my answer earlier, which is that personally, and I'm not saying this is how you should feel, but personally, I feel I'm going to roll the dice because what else am I doing this year? It's not like a traditional year in which if I don't go to Alaska, I'm going to go somewhere else. Who knows? So I'm going to plan to go to, I'm planning going on all my cruises I have booked. If they end up going, fantastic. I love it. I'll be on board. And if they're not going to end up going because they're canceled, okay. But to me, it seems like a worse fate to kind of cancel them or I don't want to like push your hand. I think there's nothing wrong with lifting and shifting. Please don't get me wrong. But that would leave a void in the short term, and that would bother me. So that's kind of why I'm going that angle, right? Paul, is there any way to tour the suite classrooms? Unfortunately not, no, because, I mean, that's someone else's room at the end of the day, right? So unfortunately not. Billy Watson loves the boardwalk balconies on Oasis Class Ships. They're really nice. Yes, I love those as well. Great value. No question about it. So, let's see. Victoria, when will Royal Caribbean have actual ships and itineraries on their site? What? When will Royal Caribbean have actual ships and itineraries? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Victoria. I'm not sure. Hey, Joe Loftus with the super chat. Thank you, Joe. 153 days until our rebooked honeymoon cruise on Liberty of the Seas. Keep my fingers crossed so we get to go. Thanks for all the fantastic information. Thank you, Joe. Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you. And I hope you get to go on your sailing. We have another super chat coming in. Marquise James. Hey, Matt, just a heads up for those in the Port Canaveral area. If you have a disabled vet license plate, parking is free at the terminal. I had no idea about that. What a great tip. Thank you, Marquise. Thank you. And thank you for your super chat, buddy. Brian McNichols says, I stopped rebooking for a bit. Gonna wait to hear more news or see a test sailing and might have to have vacation at your house for the spring. I'm so sorry. We're all sold out. We're at full capacity. There's a guy over in like Port St. Lucie you might know. He's got plenty of space for you. He does little drawings on the side. I'm sure he's lovely to stay with. Janie Fleming. I was sad they sold Empress of the Seas. I was booked on it for Easter week 21. I know a lot of people were disappointed to say goodbye to Empress of the Seas and Majesty of the Seas. And Janie, if you haven't listened to it yet, did a podcast episode a couple weeks ago over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com that we interview two people from Royal Caribbean, including Ken Rush, Royal Caribbean's head of the cruise directors. Great dude. Both gentlemen had between them like 60 years of experience at Royal Caribbean. Really cool stuff. Check out that podcast. It's a good look back at Empress of the Seas, among other ships. We have another super chat. My goodness. Holy moly, you guys are super generous today. Thank you, Jason Morris. Okay, is it pronounced Key or K? Me and my wife argue about this all the time. End it for me and prove it. So, the truth is, I'm going to give you the truth because you super chatted. You want the truth? You can handle the truth. The answer is both are acceptable. Traditionally, the Bohemians pronounce it key, Coco key. But there is no official pronunciation. If you look it up, both pronunciations are accepted, but the Bohemians call it key. Thus, I call it key. Thus, I think that's the, it's like Animal Farm. All animals are equal. Some are more equal than others. All key and K are both acceptable, but key is more acceptable than K. Kenny K, what's up, dude? Welcome. Isaiah. Sorry, Isaiah. After my 2020 cruise got canceled, I did some self-improvement and decided it was best to book a 2023 cruise because I'll be 21. Hey, man, that's a good goal right there. Love it. Yes. Not a real person. Coco Key or Labadee, which one is better? I love Coco Key. I used to tell you years ago, I said, oh, no, it's Labadee. No, the answer, I love Coco Key now. Love Coco Key. Kristen McCaskill, if my cruise gets canceled for December 31st, 2021, what are my options? Does live the ship still apply? It may. Kristen, you won't get, if that were to happen, that's not going to happen for a while. I would suspect the fall, like September, October timeframe, if not later, Kristen. So we won't truly know. The answer is nobody knows because you're asking about if Royal Caribbean will extend programs beyond their current expiration dates. We simply don't know at this time. So I think it would be, I don't want to mislead you in any way. I don't be like, hey, that guy told me on YouTube 9 months ago it was going to be this. Like, I don't know. But I can tell you that as long as the shutdown continues, you will see some options there. Kenny K with the super chat. Thank you, Kenny. Okay, so when you put perfect day in front of it, what do you call it? Perfect day, Coco Key. The fact it rhymes was a coincidence. Nothing more. You're reading all too much into the perfect day, Coco K. It was just, maybe it worked. It just, it doesn't matter because they were going to make perfect day in La Lepa in Vanuatu. The rhyming thing was just a coincidence. Sorry, Kenny. I know. I know you don't agree with me, but... And Gigi, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Matt, would you lift from Mariner and shift to an Oasis on a 3-nighter? Well, the problem with doing that, Gigi, is in order to do Mariner, which usually does 3 and 4-nighters, you'd have to find an Oasis 3-nighter a year from your Mariner sailing. That's going to be pretty tough to find. If that was an option, sure. I'm just not sure it's practical. So, Kelly Hardy, I think Jason's wife won. Right? Yeah. Axel, it wasn't a coincidence. It was their slogan. Yeah, but dude, Coco Key in Vanuatu in La Lepa. How does that work? Like, it was just a coincidence. It was just the first one that they named it that way. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, it would make sense. It would be rhyming if all the other islands, like Labadee was going to be changed to Labadee, and La Lepa was going to be called Lelepe or something. But they called it Perfect Day at La Lepa. It doesn't make any sense. So it was just a coincidence. That's all. That's my answer, and I'm sticking to it. And there's some people really angry right now. They're like, that guy, and they're going to storm off the computer and be like, oh, computer. Everyone's on their phones now, and they're going to go sit on the couch. He'd be like, honey, what's wrong? They're like, whoa, you won't believe it. Honey, tell me. I really want to know. No, you just, you know what? This Mac guy thinks that Perfect Day Coco Key K was a coincidence. And then you get the look. If you're married, you know the look your spouse gives you when they're not dignifying it with an answer. Hey, Sherry is here. Welcome. Torpic, any news about test sailings to the Royal Caribbean? Zip, nada, nulch, nothing. I set off my phone there for some reason. Nope. Jason Moore is so true to life. I've done that too. I have sat on the couch frustrated, and my wife goes, well, honey, what's wrong? She doesn't usually say, what's bothering you? And I'd be like, and then I bring up something dumb like I lost at my video game or something silly, right? And it's just like, but it's important to us. These are the important things you will only find here at Royal Caribbean Blog. I'm just saying. So, Tom, do you think Odyssey will be ready for the summer? Oh, she's going to be ready, dude. She's supposed to begin sailings in April. I mean, Royal Caribbean added sailings in April. So the answer is absolutely. Shayna, give Matt an Oscar. Thank you. Funny. Let's see here. Not a real person. Have I played the quest? I have not. I've not been a team captain. I'm too old, man. My back, I can't even do half those things. I gotta tell you this, when it comes to the quest, if you've done it before, the girls have it so much easier than the guys do. I'm just saying. The girls are just, boy, their challenge is way easier. As long as you have a supportive bra on, way easier than the guys. That's my recommendation. Just make sure you have the right support. And then it's great. Because the guys, boy, you got to do a lot of things, and my back hurts just thinking about it. So, anyway. Nigel wants to know, does Mariner have the Seas have a lot of things to do for an 8-night cruise, or will eventually get bored? You will not get bored. I do not believe you'll get bored on the ship. There's plenty to keep you busy. And don't assume just because you've done one thing that's what you can't do for the rest of the cruise. There's lots of great things. I mean, even the fact that they have entertainers on board, they changed their shtick night to night. So, yeah. Have I ever used Luggage Valet? I've not used the luggage delivery service that you're talking about. There's a service available in certain ports like Seattle and Miami where you can basically you drop off your luggage on the last night and then it gets to the airport for you. I have not done that, but I've heard very good things about it. A lot of people usually like it. It's more a question of does the port you're visiting support it? Hey, Pooji is here. Good to see you, buddy. It's been a while, Pooji. Welcome. Billy Watson, are you interested in doing any of the Bermuda sailings for Port Canaveral? 3 days Bermuda, 1 day in Nat? I would love to. Absolutely. I mean, listen, I haven't booked it, Billy. The primary reason I have not booked those Bermuda sailings from Florida is they go over the school calendar, which is a problem, or the ones that are earlier in the year, I think one overlaps the cruise we already have booked. And then on top of that, the other one is it's still too early in the year for my kids. So I would love to. I think it's a fantastic itinerary. So you're not wrong on that. Those look amazing. So Tony Diaz, I get that look when she walks in and sees me on the sofa listening to you. She thinks the sink is full of dishes. Listen, honey, those dishes can wait. We're getting real important breaking news right here. Matt's about to sing music from The Little Mermaid, right? I mean, that's must-see TV right there. The dishes aren't going anywhere. Plus, Tony, you have kids. That's what they're for. Yeah, right. Eddie Hill, what do you think about the idea of Royal Caribbean giving us Crown and Anchor points for canceled cruise instead of the 125%? I take the points on heartbeat. I don't know what would be in it for Royal Caribbean. I mean, what would be the incentive? What would be their gain? To make you happy? I mean, I think at this point, it's well established that this is beyond their control. This is not a, oops, we forgot to turn this switch and now the ship isn't working anymore kind of thing. Oops. No, this is I don't see that happening. And quite frankly, I wouldn't expect that to be the case. It's kind of like airline miles. Your flight is canceled and you don't go on a flight. If you don't fly for whatever reason, you don't get the miles. I think that's the fair thing to do, quite frankly. I'm not a big believer in the idea that your Crown and Anchor Society status can be diluted. Some people were complaining when Royal Caribbean added the I missed a super chat. Holy moly. Danny, I'm so sorry. Hang on a second. Danny DiMatteo, I'm so sorry for missing your super chat earlier. How are the ports doing during these hard times? I've heard anecdotally that they're struggling a lot because a lot of the businesses, that were built up around the cruise ports, whether it's NASA or Cozumel or whatever, I mean, that's their business, right? So they're hurting, man. I've heard, in fact, probably the worst hit ones that I've heard about are in Alaska, where basically a lot of these towns that depend on cruise traffic, they wrote off last year, 2020. They cannot afford to write off another year. I mean, some of these towns will really just kind of shut down if that's the case. So sorry again, Danny, for missing your super chat. Thank you for your generosity, though. I appreciate that. What was I saying about before? I was going to sing for Tony. I don't know. I lost my train of thought on that one, but I'm sure it was a good point. The Crown Anchor. Yeah, now I remember. I don't believe the fact that the Royal Caribbean giving out double points takes away anything from your experience. This isn't like there's a pool of points, and because Tony Diaz gets extra points, you get less points, or Tony Diaz getting extra perks takes away from your perks. Not the case at all. I mean, it's utterly meaningless. It's just the fact that either any of us move up the Crown and Anchor Society faster or slower does not affect anybody else. It's just perceived value because some people place they believe because they're at a certain status in Crown and Anchor Society and that they've earned it, that somehow that's the bit of bragging rights, a little bit of ego associated with that. Like, ha, 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 I'm up here, you're down there. And if somebody else were to be able to move up faster than them, for some reason, that lessens what they accomplished, the first person. Like, that's silly. That's utterly silly. We want the best for each other, right? We want to support each other. We're all together in this. We're cruise fans. We love to cruise. We want all of us people to have a great time on a cruise. The fact that somebody moves up to Diamond faster than I did, good for them. You don't have to suffer like I did. Suffer, I know. But you didn't have to. You got there faster, right? That to me is silly. Now listen, if Royal Caribbean were to say we're going to give everybody double points and we're taking away half your benefits, okay, that's different. But that's not the case here. So, yeah. Jamie, what comes first? The next cruise, the shelves stocked. Listen, man, the shelves are getting stocked. There's like stuff up there, okay? I added something the other day. What did I add the other day? I added some books. I move out of the way. Nope, wrong way, Matt. Keep going this way. Nope. Right there. There's some extra books right there, okay? We're getting there. We're getting there. Let's hear music from The Little Mermaid. I want to be where the people are, going on cruises and asking them questions like, what's the Windjammer and is the key worth it? Thank you, Mrs. Thomas. I can't turn that next song. Not buying excursions till I know. Thank you for the super chat, Mrs. Thomas. Not buying excursions till I know ports will be open. I did find out that my daughter can take a loop cruise to Bermuda without a passport. If you're selling from the U.S., yes, absolutely. Matt adds 1 item to the shelf per day. Baby steps. It's a long walk between here and back up to the loft and back down here. Listen, so. Jack, too many Pinnacle folks keeps the Diamond Plus folks out of the concierge lines due to not enough space. That's been happening for a while. I mean, that's been for years. That has nothing to do with what's happening here. I just don't think it matters, quite frankly. Like, it's nice to have these perks. I certainly enjoy them, but I don't cruise to get Crown and Anchor status. I've never cruised to get status. It's a benefit. It's a plus. Something I was going to do already, and this is a benefit. It's like when you go to you're going to go out to a restaurant and you get a coupon, right? That saves you 25% off. Does somebody else in the restaurant get, does that take away from their meal? No, just you got a good deal. Congratulations. You win this round, enjoy. Nothing is being taken away from people who are already at the status. And this is coming, again, I'm a Diamond Plus member. And I got there before I paid my way to get up there, right? Just like everybody else. And I would have loved to get double points. Are you kidding? So it doesn't take anything away from anybody. I think it's silly. I think we just, at the end of the day, our fellow cruisers together, I want all of us to have a great cruise. And I think everybody, if there's a faster way to get up there and get those points and get that status, why not? Nothing to lose right there. So, Tom Chapman, can you please do an updated video on the whole Crown and Anchor sighting and how it all works? Yeah. Have I not done a video about that? Or did I do one like a long time ago? But yeah, I could definitely talk about that. Jack Mortimer, I agree. You were talking about the loyalty programs. I've always been well treated. Yeah, they do a great job. Now listen, if they were to bring a bunch of people up to Diamond and then all of a sudden they took away perks, okay, that's a different story. Then, you can make that leap of Vicky saved by super chat. That would be a leap of not faith. That would be a different story because then you have a correlation between the two, but not seeing that. So, hey, Trophy, just tuning in. Are they back cruising? Unfortunately, not, my friend, but I'm glad to have you back here. Welcome. Mike Pastor says, Diamond Plus? Nah, you're pre-Pinnacle. Thank you, buddy. But Tom, I think we should do a video on Crown and Anchor Society. We'll get there eventually. So, Ben, any update on Quantum is doing? Fantastic. This is the problem, Ben, with the media. And I'm not getting on this whole the media is awful. They serve a role. But when it comes to the cruise industry and how the media looks at the cruise industry, Ben's asking, has there been any update on how Quantum of the Seas is doing? And why is Ben asking that question? Because outside of what you read here at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, there has been no coverage. There's no reports on the evening news, whether it's ABC, NBC, CBS. There's no articles on your favorite travel sites about Quantum because everything's going exactly as scheduled and planned, and the new protocols are working, and you only hear about these ships when something bad happens, which is unfortunate. So this is very much the case, Ben, when no news is good news. So yeah, no, they're all good on that, friend. That's good stuff right there. And that's what I always try to remind everybody when it comes to anything that happens that's bad in the cruise industry is keep it all in perspective, because, it's just, yeah. Anyway, I think we're right up on our time right here. I'm going to answer Janie's question here. I have a back-to-back booked on Independence of the Seas in July. Are they not happening? Right now, your cruise is scheduled to go. It's too early to know, Janie, what July cruises will look like. So, yeah. And I agree with Queet Beat. It is unfortunate because cruising gets a bad rep because so many people out there just see the bad news. They don't read RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Shame on them. No, it's not about me. It's about the fact that there's so many people who only hear about cruises through the lens of bad news. And if all you heard about was bad news, you would think the same thing. My goodness, who the heck would go on a cruise, right? Until you realize, oh no, wait a minute. The news is only coming and report out when it's bad, and they completely ignore it when it's good. That's called that's unfair reporting right there. But they don't go that far. They just do it. So anyway, you and I all know this, but, remind your friends and family when something comes out and there's, let's say there's a COVID case on a cruise ship and everyone's like, clutch your pearls, honey. It's bad news. There's a COVID case on board. And then you're like, why are you talking like Mickey? And second of all, one case? That's a good day anywhere in the world, Anyway, I digress. Anyway, guys, want to thank you all for joining me here. This rant at the end brought to you by, let's say, Tony Diaz. And I want to say thank you for joining me here. Check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. We have 3 new blog posts up at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Tomorrow we'll have a brand new YouTube video to share with you guys. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. And I also want to say thank you to all our super chatters today. Mrs. Thomas, thank you. Danny DiMatteo, thank you for the super chat. Gigi, thank you. Kenny K, thank you. Jason Morris, thank you. Marquise, thank you. Joe Loftus, thank you. John Eds, thank you very much. Vicky Belleville, I'm sorry that I wasn't able to sing for you more. Thank you for the super chat. Eddie Hill, thank you for the super chat. Tim M, thank you for the super chat. John Smith, thank you for the super chat. Mrs. Thomas, thank you again for the super chat. MJ, thank you for the super chat. Randy Patrick, thank you for the super chat. And Teresa McChain, thank you for the super chat. Very kind of all of you guys. Really appreciate all of you guys helping me out here, hanging out. Every Monday we're live here on YouTube. Come check us out. Until then, have a great rest of your week out there. Stay safe, do something fun, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.